The dim light of the Cobalt Lounge did little to soothe Finn Davenport's frayed nerves. He'd arrived early, as always, meticulously chosen a dark blue shirt Cora once adored, and ordered her usual spiced gin. But the chair opposite remained empty. Not for minutes, but for 2 agonizing hours. What if everything you believed about your life was a lie? His phone buzzed at 9:12 p.m. A cruel, digital punch. Cora Maxwell, his wife of 9 years, beamed from a social media story, a champagne flute in hand. Beside her, a man Finn had never seen, his arm proprietarily around her waist. The caption, "Here's to new beginnings." A dizzying clink of glasses. She hadn't even tried to hide it. Finn's fingers trembled, not from anger, but a hollow shame. Others had known before him, perhaps even celebrated. He paid, leaving a generous tip for his shattered evening, and drove home to a silent house. Her keys were gone, her familiar coat absent. A suitcase was missing. He just stood there, the silence a suffocating weight. Can you ever truly know someone, or are we all just playing parts? Cora desired freedom, claiming marriage stifled her. Finn thought it meant self-discovery, not another man. He didn't fight, didn't beg. He signed the divorce papers. She departed with a smile as if crossing a finish line. But here's what no one will tell you about endings. They're often just disguised beginnings. Finn had one last breath, one final fight left. 5 days later, she returned for Pip, their beagle. No call, no warning. The lock clicked, and Pip bounded to the door. Cora walked in as if she still belonged, ignoring Finn. "Just taking him for a few days," she said, her voice thin, avoiding his gaze. Finn watched her expensive heels, her flawless makeup, a mask of indifference. "You didn't even tell me," he managed. "You just left." She sighed, a practiced annoyance. "We've been disconnected for months, Finn. You just wouldn't admit it." The words stung, rehearsed lines from a script designed to erase him. He merely nodded. Before she left, Finn asked the question that gnawed at him. "Was it Reese?" Her pause spoke volumes. "It wasn't planned," she murmured, a ludicrous excuse for betrayal. How many lives are accidentally unraveled? The door closed softly, but the echo reverberated. Finn was the husband left for freedom. Friends vanished from his feed, reappearing in hers. His own sister suggested he be more spontaneous. Everyone knew, it seemed, except him. But in the empty house, amid the crushing quiet, Finn didn't hate her. He hated himself. He hated the smallness he'd adopted to keep her happy, the needs he'd buried. He hated how spending money on her didn't make him richer, only poorer in self-worth. But the man she discarded wasn't gone. He was just starting over. 2 weeks passed. Finn muted Cora's notifications, starving the gnawing curiosity. But every night he wondered, did she laugh with Reese? Did she feel an ounce of guilt? He lied to himself, saying he didn't care. Then late one Thursday, her name flashed. He didn't answer. It rang again. "Stop!" What I heard next would change everything. He picked up. Laughter, music, her voice. "You always know how to ruin my lipstick." Giggles, then silence. A pocket dial. He was a ghost, listening to her new life. He should have hung up. He didn't. He stayed frozen, heart hammering. When the line went dead, Finn pulled out an old notebook. He wrote, "Stop begging for space in someone's life when they've already changed the locks." He called in sick the next morning. Something inside him had snapped. His house, once a shared space, now felt like a mausoleum of their life. He boxed it all, her mugs, scarves, cheap earrings. He packed them carefully, not out of love, but because if anything broke, he'd shatter too. He drove to her new building, past the doorman, and left the box with a note. "You left these behind. I won't be." The doorman's gaze held not pity, but a quiet understanding. "Your life will change in 7 days if you dare to let go." Driving home, the wind on his face felt like bleeding out, but also clean. He didn't check his phone. He wasn't that man anymore. A month passed. Finn was breathing again. He walked, cooked, joined a photography class, something he'd always wanted but never made time for. One quiet Saturday, returning from the farmer's market, the doorbell rang. It was Cora. Hair in a messy bun, oversized sunglasses, Pip's leash in hand. She hadn't brought the dog to see him. She brought herself. "Oh," Finn managed, his throat tight. "I figured he'd want to visit," she said, her voice cracking. Finn knelt, petting Pip. The dog's tail wagged, oblivious. Finn just nodded. "Thanks for bringing him." She peered past him into the house. "It looks different. You moved things." She spoke as if she still belonged, still had a right to comment. "I needed it to stop feeling like a museum," Finn replied. "It was smelling like ghosts." Her fake confidence flickered. "I saw your photo," she said suddenly. "You and Mina Gray from your class at that gallery thing. You looked happy." Finn said nothing. "I didn't know you were dating," she added too quickly. "I'm not," he said, and saw relief flash in her eyes. It angered him. "You left, Cora. You don't get to check in. It's confusing. You wanted freedom. You made that clear." She bit her lip. "I thought I did," she whispered. "I thought it would feel better than this." Why failure is the key to success. Sometimes the greatest loss reveals the greatest gain. Finn grabbed the leash. "I have somewhere to be." He gently took the leash from her hand. "Then maybe you shouldn't have walked away." He closed the door, not loud, not angry, just final. Days later, her text flooded his screen. "I miss you. I made a mistake. Can we talk, please?" Finn stood, a damp t-shirt in hand, staring at the glowing words he'd once dreamed of hearing. He didn't reply. 20 minutes later, a photo. Cora on a balcony, makeup smudged, eyes red, wearing his old college hoodie. Bait. My hands were shaking when I realized what she was doing. He called. Her immediate "hello" was breathy. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Reese and I weren't what I thought. He's nothing like you." I laugh, but it feels like performing. I feel hollow. "Then why did you leave?" Finn asked. "Because you made it easy to forget myself." The blame, wrapped in honesty, stung. He was too safe, too quiet. She'd traded him for chaos, and now she wanted a seat back at the table she'd overturned. "I'm not your rescue plan," Finn said, his voice shaking. "You dismantled everything. You had a soft launch into someone else's arms while I was boiling pasta for our anniversary." "I know, and I'm sorry," she cried. I didn't know how to say I was drowning. You were always so steady, and I felt like I was fading next to you." "So you lit the house on fire instead?" She gave a broken laugh. "Maybe I did. Can we meet? Just talk." Finn looked out at the familiar sky. "I'll think about it." He ended the call, not blocking her, not deleting the texts. Part of him still ached, but the rest was finally learning to stop bleeding. He agreed to meet at a neutral coffee shop. She sat by the window, stirring foam, looking tired. "Thanks for coming." "I almost didn't," Finn replied. Silence hung heavy. "I've been trying to figure out how I became this person," she began, "who throws away something good and calls it growth." "That part being loyalty," Finn said, sharper than intended. "I deserve that." The waitress arrived and Finn ordered black coffee. "Are you seeing her?" Cora asked, eyes flickering. "Mina, the girl from the gallery?" Finn almost laughed. "Her name is Mina, and no, we're not dating. She's a friend. But it wouldn't matter if we were." "I know," she whispered. "It's just weird seeing you with someone else. You were always mine." That word, mine, echoed like a warning bell. 95% of people miss this simple trick. Letting go of what you think you own. "You gave up that right when you left me for a man who couldn't remember your birthday," Finn stated. "He's out of the picture." Finn's face showed his indifference. "You look different," she tried. "More grounded, confident." Perhaps because he was no longer her shadow. Finn stood. "I hope you find what you're looking for, Cora. Truly. But I'm not your safety net. I was your husband, and you walked away." She opened her mouth, but he didn't wait. He dropped a $5 bill and walked out, the bell above the door marking a definitive end. The wind outside was brutal, but Finn felt strangely warm. The meeting hadn't wrecked him. It had sealed something shut. He didn't need her regret, her guilt, or her at all. He turned the corner and saw Mina across the street, camera slung, photographing an old fire escape, smiling as if the world held magic. For the first time in months, Finn smiled too. Not because of her, because of him. He wasn't going to send anything. But a week later, he found a folder of their early memories. He couldn't throw them away. Instead, he stuffed them into an envelope. They didn't belong to him anymore. He included a letter. This is the version of us you once loved. Maybe it'll remind you that what we had was real, but I'm not that version anymore. And I hope one day neither are you. He mailed it. 2 nights later, an envelope under his door. Inside, a photo from Charleston, them mid-laugh, barefoot on the beach. Cora had written on the back, I don't remember who I became, but I remember who I was with you. Finn stared, not sadness, but recognition. She wasn't a villain, just a broken person. He had stopped needing to understand why. The next morning she texted, I read your letter 3 times. I cried. I don't expect anything. I just wanted you to know I still see the man you were. Finn didn't reply, not out of hatred, but because he owed her nothing. Not silence, not closure, not the comfort of his availability. Some stories end with forgiveness. Others end with distance. Theirs needed both. That weekend he hiked alone. No signal, no noise. He watched the sunset wash the world in gold. For the first time, he didn't think about her. He just existed. Cora wanted freedom. She got it. So did he. The difference? Mine didn't come at the cost of someone else's heart. Mina invited him to her exhibit. He went, not to prove anything, but because he wanted to step into something new. Her photos were raw, beautiful. One, unfinished edges, showed a man alone in the fog. Some think it's loneliness, she said, but it's clarity, becoming. Finn looked at it again. He didn't see loss. He saw himself. Later, sitting on the curb, they talked about everything but love. He realized the world hadn't ended. It had just changed. And maybe, just maybe, he had too. Cora was right about one thing. She wasn't meant to stay. Her leaving didn't break him. It revealed him. He didn't lose a wife. He rediscovered a man. The one who learned to breathe again without asking permission. And that version is still here, still moving, still becoming.